Just the context of what's going on in Down at the moment with the referees. So there's meant to be, the county board are launching an investigation into an alleged assault of one of the leading referees, which is Warren Point's Brendan Rice. He was understood to be struck by a Clonduff player in their league clash against Kilcoo last Tuesday night. Now obviously we'll wait to see what happens with that. But being a referee, when you consider the amount of players that are milling around the pitch, between players, more Mayor Furnace, whatever it might be, even fans coming in.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's a rough enough job, isn't it?
Number one, there's too many lads on the line. There's just way too many bodies there. By putting all those bodies out there, you're just leaving a chance for something to happen. Number two, the respect which referees are showing. Like, there's a caveat to it. Like, some referees are just not very good at their job, like, and they leave themselves open to a lot of criticism. But the majority of them are doing their very best and like treat players with respect and fairness. And I know we said before about referees saying different things to players, but the majority of referees are there for all the right reasons. And there's just not enough respect within the GA for referees. And you saw, like, recently there was suspensions handed down to Gavin Devlin, the former Tyrone star who's involved with Tyrone now. I think it was 24 weeks for something he said or did to a referee as a supporter. And then there was a 16-week ban handed down to Owen Brazan, the former tip star, for his involvement. I think he was involved with the tip under 15, something involved with a referee as well at the Arbonne tournament. Like, so I think the GA does need to take a fairly hard line on this kind of stuff, because otherwise, like, it's just going to continue on and on. There's more and more. You had the thing with Turlock O'Brien and Stephen Poacher and Brendan Murphy already this year, regardless of whether it was like blown up to be bigger than it was or whatever it was, doesn't matter. There's all, like, the GA probably need to toe a hard line, and if people realise that this is going to happen and you're going to get banned, it will cut it out. Like, I don't like comparing sports, but at least the referee in rugby is shown the respect that he deserves and has respect.
Is there something hereby, if referees were actually paid a bit better and given the sort of, I heard a thing with Brian Gavin recently, and he was talking about why don't the GA organise collective training for referees once a week or even a couple of times a month. And if referees were given better expenses, because he's talked about that on the hurling show with us in the past, if you made it more appealing, you would get more referees through, maybe even to some degree better referees, because, and this is no comment of course on Brendan Rice, but in some situations you know that the referee is actually adding to the frustration that's going on, and as much and all as he doesn't deserve to be abused, certainly doesn't deserve to be struck. Like, sometimes bad referees are adding to the situation.
They're not incentivising lads to get involved in refereeing. Like there's a serious lack of referees all around the country now, and the one thing people always say, why would you do it?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do it? You really want to love what you're doing. And even Richie Fitzsimons, the referee from my own club, he actually tweeted me and you there a couple of weeks ago about not even being given like a pass or anything to get into other matches. Yeah. That's just a simple thing, that referees have a pass to go in and look at other matches for free and look at what's going on, look at how other lads are refereeing, maybe learn things, learn about players, learn what's going on. It's just, they're really small things, but they do make a difference. Like,
that's a very minimum, that a referee who is out there doing his bit for the game, that he should be let into every game for nothing.
I would have thought so, to be honest with you. Yeah.
So the proposed penalty for striking or attempting to strike or any type of assault on a referee, umpire, linesman or sideline official, according now to the GA's official guide, is a 48-week ban. Yeah. And you consider, like, in the past how strongly the GA has come down on someone like Diarmuid Connolly, for example. He got 12 weeks for what was fairly minimal interference. I think minor interference was the term used at the time.
Poke nearly almost.
And obviously nobody's encouraging players to do this or excusing it, but that seemed overkill. And then you've other situations where something far stronger is happening and the penalty isn't as strong at all. Another thing that Brian Gavin said recently, he was talking about how different referees, some referees are better than others, that there's such an adherence to fitness within the GA, and this kind of came about a few years ago, that certain referees were given out about not getting games even though they're far fitter than another referee, and some referees dropped off the panel then because they didn't pass the fitness tests. You have to, if you fail a couple of tests, that's it, you're gone. But like that referee who might over the course of a game be able to run 40 yards fewer than you at a certain speed, he might be a much better decision maker. So you're losing referees by basically setting a fitness bar at a certain height. It doesn't matter if you can run all day. If you haven't a clue what's going on, what's the difference?
It's not like playing. It's not like playing where like fitness is a massive like bearing on your performance or whatever. Like if you're a good referee and you can spot and encouraging, or you can spot a foul or spot what's going on better than someone else.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to be right up there on it. You can still know what's going on, and you're able to get a game flowing, and you have the respect of the players. There are certain referees where, like, altercations and things just don't happen in their matches. It just doesn't happen because invariably they're making the right decisions the whole time, and players can see that. Then there's other referees where things are just let go. You often see, particularly with a row, sure, it's the referee's own fault. He should have, if he'd handed out 2 yellow cards earlier, he let one thing away, then he let another thing away, and then it just exploded.
A big one too is when an incident happened that the referee takes all day about it, goes up chatting and allows something else to break out. Of course, like, the player should be copping on. But if you kind of get the game going as quickly as possible, again, people forget about it, move on because that's their job to do. Another thing Brian Gavin said, and I found this very, very interesting. He was explaining how referees like Sean Clear, he said, you know, fit as a fiddle and all that, but one of the criticisms he had, this is the Kilkenny referee now that people might say, he gets too close to the action. Like, he's running up, like an incident would happen, let's say on the 65, and he's sprinting and he's right in on top of it. Then, like, he says he gets so close to the action that when the ball is transferred 60 yards in one go or 100 yards, that he was so close to one incident that he never gave him an opportunity to have a head start to get to where the ball was going. And that was a criticism.
You almost need to have a middle ground, especially in hurling when the ball is going to travel 100 yards. You don't need to be too close to the incident. You need to be close enough that you can see, but you need to be close enough to get to the next incident or get to the next play as well. Yeah, definitely.
That's it. No easy job being a referee.
Definitely not. I often thought about doing it, and then you'd be like, sure, why would you put yourself in for the hardship? You literally want to have the thickest of thick skins.
So let us know who you think is a good referee. Don't start writing up who you think is an idiot. We don't want to, we don't want to have any referees getting on to us complaining. And don't forget to follow us by clicking on that button just there.